So that's the entrance to Varosha. Over there. Literally walk through, they ask you, do not bring a drone in. We were told by the tourist information guy that if you bring a drone, it's probably a month in prison if you get caught with a drone, let alone if you're flying a drone. You come through, little place on the left hand side where you can hire bikes, scooters, golf buggies. Bikes are probably the cheapest, they've all gone by now, it's nearly 12 o'clock here. Scooters are about 700, well, a golf buggy is €750 for, I don't know if that's for an hour, sorry, 750 Turkish lira, which is about €15. That's probably per hour. But literally, you come through and you're in the entrance of it. Welcome to Varosha. We're going to have a little walk around here for a couple of hours. We would have got a bike, a golf buggy, but they're all gone and they're on hire for a couple of hours, so it'll be 2 o'clock before we get the chance to get one of them. So we're not going to do that. There are plenty of scooters available, electric scooters. I didn't catch the price of them, I'll try and get them on the way out. But we're going to walk through it. Hopefully not too much of a brisk pace because it's stifling hot at the minute. But we're going to walk up to the right hand side up here. There's a road open, which a lot of the major points, there's a tourist information map we were given, and a lot of points are marked on there for things to see. And then there's another stretch where it runs along the coast, backing onto the beach hotels, which runs for about 1.5 kilometres. So all in all, there's going to be a good few kilometres covered today, especially on foot. So at least we can go at our own time. So we'll get some shots in of what we can see. Hey. Literally the buildings are crumbling. 51 years ago. These have been empty for since. Also nothing's had a lick of paint. It's just held behind little roped barriers. Obviously you're not going to go climbing in there. There's no gardening going on, no maintenance. There's windows smashed, that kind of thing. There's one of the little golf buggies there. But literally, time has stood still for 51 years here since they were invaded. I'm sure people have set foot in some of these places over the years. But we've been told that a large part of the area is still closed off, so I would imagine the interesting parts, lots and lots of interesting sort of things going on around there. This is still a Turkish military installation. So the vehicle over there is Turkish military. And they're the only vehicles allowed to travel within this area. But it's controlled. There are apparently, I've been told and I've read that there are military people within buildings sometimes in vantage points. I've not seen any yet. Somebody's at least been in and done a bit of work on the roundabout. Food corner house over there. Souvenir shop. I think it's up there where you can go. A lot of the buildings have warnings on saying they're potentially liable to collapse, which you can understand. That looks like they're about to start building over there. That one up the top there looks like they were building it, but obviously they've had to stop. But that's nothing new for Greek islands. Some of this has already collapsed. No people, no bikes, forbidden zone. Again, I think a lot of that is mainly down to the danger of collapsing buildings. Everything is just, looks like it could potentially fall down at any time. It's one of the bigger beachfront hotels there. Shot as bigger as we go along. I would imagine after it was invaded that there'd be a lot of stripping of rooms, looting, that sort of thing going on. So to go in and expect to find 8-track cassette players and things like that, TVs, I think all those have been looted out long ago. But obviously your bathroom fittings are all going to be there, your light fittings. This is one of the little beach areas, isn't it? Toilets over on the right. Lockers, or showers there. Little changing areas. So this is the beach that is closest to the entrance. As you come through the entrance, you walk along a little bit, 100 yards or so, then you veer left. That beach hotel over there is obviously on the Turkish side. And then beyond that, you will have normal business as usual. This is what's left of some of the beachfront hotels. Some of the restaurant terrace areas at the bottom. As I don't know what that is, Azalin Hotel. There's obviously lots of graffiti up there where people have got in over the years, haven't they? And then beach bars, sunbeds over there, quite weird. And then the sea looks absolutely stunning here, it's got to be said. Beautiful sandy beaches, the sea is blue as anything. Some might even say it was blue, 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 blue. The sea, lifeguards on duty, paddleboards for hire, pedalers. It's a beautiful setting. Standard working beach bar, right in the middle of Varosha. How bizarre. I'm assuming this is Turkish controlled. It's strange because officially we're in no man's land. But is this Turkish controlled? Mind you, it is under the Turkish military, so I would imagine it would be Turkish run. But look at that up there. It looks absolutely stunning. No wonder this was a big resort in the 60s and 70s. Oh. Yeah. We're in a little cafe near the beach. Just been up there to try and buy some drinks, but people were the staff were just basically looking at me. And two or three people have come up behind me and just got served. And just completely blanked me. Maybe the Turkish, I don't know. But so there's a tiny little beach here, isn't there? There's a beach through the other side, but that looks like it's part of the hotel. Yeah, not the most welcoming cafe I've been in there. Largely people stood behind the counter just ignoring you. Managed to get a drink finally when somebody else came along. Wasn't very impressed really. That beach is stunning though over there, isn't it? So there is another little beach along here, but I don't know. You must have to sort of go along the waterline to get to it. This is madness. This is a whole resort closed off in the buffer zone, the UN buffer zone between Turkish Cyprus and normal standard Cyprus. You can see where all the rocks and walls have collapsed from the hotels over the years. This probably looks similar size to Ayia Napa, I would say, start to finish. Some size of resort. Just in that, there's actually a crane. That's a crane that was in use 50 years ago, just abandoned also. Interesting story. Varosha was a major European destination for holidaymakers back in the very early 70s, late 60s. Lots of film stars, lots of pop stars, famous people, rich people used to come here for the holidays. I read a few things about the beginnings of ABBA, would you believe? And from what I'm led to believe, ABBA, they either performed here in the early days of when they first became a band, sort of pre-Eurovision days, or they met here and formed ABBA. But they used to perform, the members of ABBA used to perform in hotels around this resort back in the early 70s, late 60s. That's probably why there's so many ABBA tribute acts in Prataris at the minute. What's that? Limehouse Famagusta, top floor St Michael's Chapel, welfare office, housing office, estate office, thrift shop, families clinic, library, tea room, bookshop, nursing service, lawn store, exchange store and playgroup. This was obviously some sort of government building by the looks of it. Electric wires, cables hanging down all over the place. That's the old Margarita Hotel. Any of you old guys out there might have stayed there in the past. I guess you'd have to be in your 70s, 80s to have stayed in something like that. That might have been an old ice cream stall there. Hot dogs or something. Again, everything's been absolutely looted from these buildings. There's families in southern Cyprus that own these buildings. That is part of the United Nations. The Arcadian Hotel over to the left, and the Edelweiss restaurant. I know Cypriots, some of the, the Greek Cypriots, I've read stories where they come back here to where they used to live. There's obviously people who left, and their family still owns the buildings, and it's just been taken. But everything's been absolutely stripped back and looted, hasn't it? Somebody's garden there. This looks like an old crane of some sort. I think I've worked on machinery similar to that we've hired as a company. I'll try that again, seeing as that wasn't recording. Temperature here at the minute is probably late 30s, quite easily. Really, really warm. The breeze is quite gentle, but it's a little bit cooler. But make sure you bring plenty of water. It's not the sort of place where you can pop in for a calippo every couple of minutes, or an ice cream or a drink. There's places, obviously the snack bar at the beach at the end, near the entrance, and the entrance itself has a snack bar. Just load up with drinks, take a couple of bottles in with you, because this heat will zap the energy out of you. The sweat will pour out of you. There's a little building up here. The Lord's Hotel Apartments. Got to be said, we haven't seen any pools yet. Whether pools were a thing back in the 70s or everybody used the sea, I'm not sure. So we're not quite sure. We might have to ditch the camera in a bit. You might not be able to see a lot of this. There was another beach up there though, wasn't there?
Yeah, it said you can walk. It's 1.5 kilometres, wasn't it, from the end up to the other end, and you could see it from the other beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw a few carvings in the stone.
So what?
Like carvings in the path.
Oh, in the path?
One of them was 30th of April.
1973.
Yeah, 1973. One of them was 30th of April.
1973. I think this road is clearly newer, isn't it?
Yeah.
This isn't 1970s road, I don't think.
Man, I'm hot.
This was probably all put in, I think, when was it, 2020? They opened this up to the
Maybe
public, so they'd have gone along and put a proper road in. They're not so good at the weeding, are they, to be fair? Weeds are flying up all over. That, I do not know what on earth, whether that was finished. That wasn't even started, was it? Just starting to build that. Wonder what's in that building down below. Oh, sweat is pouring out me now. It feels hotter here, doesn't it? I'm saying it's because there's no Calippo shops every 30 yards. And a big part of this, big part of Varosha is still closed. Obviously, a lot of you can't get near the seafront hotels or in front of them, I don't think. We're going to make it up to the beach at the far end up here just to see. People would have sat on the balconies there at one time, having a pina colada. Not anymore. There could have been a little shop there, with the shelving units on the side. I've seen people selling shelving units like that on Facebook that are in worse nick than them. True story. Free to collect. Light fitting still on the walls. Electrical switches, lights on the top. Still there. That one looks like it was painted blue at one point. One up here has got evidence of a bit of collapse. And as we're near this other checkpoint, crossing point further up here, this is the open part of Varosha. You can hear the loudspeaker, that is probably the call to prayer, the Islamic call to prayer. We've been to Turkey and that used to go on several times a day until the late evening. This one obviously has not survived. I will be putting my camera away in a bit because there's a military checkpoint further up there.
Everything's wet.
The Sea Hotel, everything's wet, is it?
Everything's wet.
There's cars over here, what's going on?
They just pulled it round there, haven't they?
Yeah. That looks to be as far as you can go.
Dad, they've got the umbrella.
There.
I think you have to go back down that way.
Yeah.
Back down. You could possibly go that way, but I don't know if it's taking you way out.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know how you get to the other beach.
Well, they've turned round and then come back. But yeah, this
No.
kind of quite weirdly seems to stop and start, doesn't it?
That's what I mean, it's like there's bits, like there's signs there.
I'm not sure what's the forbidden zone and what's not, in all honesty.
They do it like it's only in France.
Yeah. Not quite sure what is. This is Varosha surrounding it, which is still Turkish controlled. This is UN controlled, Turkish military controlled. I'm not quite sure. Obviously, so, I think is that a checkpoint?
Yeah.
Is that a crossing point
Yeah.
into Cyprus?
I don't know.
Into Greek Cyprus?
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure. Bit confusing. A bit like any war. Stairs down to somewhere, leading up to those apartments by the looks of it. Bit of a driveway. A load of bushes cut back and blocked off. All family homes, a lot of these, back in the day. So we're just coming back from we're basically walking parallel with the sea and the beachfront hotels, which you can see in the background there. But we were heading up towards the beach, but we're not quite sure where it is. You'd think it'd be near the sea, wouldn't you? But weirdly, there was a load of cones on what looked like a Turkish checkpoint up there. Cars just driving along, literally a couple of plastic cones. Just a couple of plastic cones and ropes and a couple of Turkish security guards. We're not quite sure if it was a checkpoint going into southern Cyprus or what, I'm not sure. I was walking up to have a look at a sign, a guard come over and kind of barked at me to go away. Go, no stopping. Obviously, his English is better than my Turkish, so I've no idea what he said. But yeah, we've been kind of scooted off away and heading back towards the main area. There is another road to explore yet, which is not far from the starting point. So we're going to have a look up there in a minute. But yeah, at least I'm not in prison. Something else worth noting, as well as there being no drink shops or anything obviously along here, there's absolutely no shade anywhere. You might get the odd little bit of shade from palm trees here and there, which doesn't make a lot of difference, but there's no shelters, nothing like that. You just literally have the sun beating down on you. I feel like the dude out of that film Lawrence from Arabia, crawling all over the desert. Feels like that. Don't know if that's a 1970s palette or a modern palette. Who knows? Things were built to last back then. There's a toilet down there, a little dunny. You see? Little outside toilet. But yeah, no shade at all anywhere along here. You're not walking close enough to the tall buildings to be in the shade for the most part of this. So you're just out here in the blazing sun, and it is blazing hot. It's crazy hot. Be warned, wear hats, put sun cream on, bring water, plenty of everything. We need a rest. There is a cafe over there. Lo and behold, let's go and get some lolly-esque, shall we? We found a cafe. Ignore everything I've said so far. See if they're doing any calippos. Little pool fountain kind of thing. It's opposite the fairways. Kind of weird.
It's just a mirage.
So we managed to find a little cafe just inside Varosha somewhere. Crisps, slush puppies, Coke, loads of drinks. Bit of a seating area. It's all shaded as well. Very much needed. Everyone's a bit sweaty.
Soaked.
But yeah, this place had I paid €20 for a slush and a bit of sit in the shade. Very much needed. Having a break over at the cafe. Not quite sure what this is. A couple of big Turkish flags up there. Don't know if that's a working building. No idea what it is, what it was. But this is a little oasis amongst all the carnage and the desolation. Nice little gardens there. A nice little cafe area. Well needed. Walking then back to the toilet at the back of the cafe. Just at the side here there's a fence. All the abandoned houses that used to belong to people. Very sad. Trees even growing into the windows over there. At the top. Banisters and railings all rusted. Doors rotten. Windows smashed. Meanwhile, there's a little toilet. Wonder if Abba ever come back here. Tour around just to see, or if they've been back over the years just to have a look at it. If it's somewhere they spent a bit of time. Who knows? Again, inside the buildings, no fittings really left. Everything's been stripped out. Anything of any value, long gone. Little upstairs mezzanines, little staircases. No products, no fittings. There's a shelving unit in the back there, look. Jasmine leather shop. No leather left. Bit of a sink over there. Maybe they used to cut hair in there as well. Camera processing place there. This was a bookshop over here. Bookshelves there, still remaining. Again, untouched for nearly 50 years, pretty much. Very sad. Plenty more shops along there. Bank of Cyprus. And on the corner here, a yellow post box. What's left of one? Door's missing. Whether it was yellow to start with, I'm not sure, but that paint has worn pretty well, I would say. I think this is one of the most famous landmarks up ahead. The Toyota car dealership. Weirdly, the Varosha part continues up there, the abandoned bit. Down here you have people in cars driving backwards and forwards. I've been stopped by the police. More stuff. Obviously they're using these roads, even though there's tourists going around on buggies and everything else, so I'm not quite sure what the crack is with this. There's people having the pictures taken at the Toyota dealership.
So go that way.
The what?
Can't still go that way.
Yeah, so the signs say no people, no bikes that way. No people, no bikes that way. Meanwhile, there's cars crossing over along this road. And the Varosha tour, you can continue up that road there. You don't quite understand what's going on. An old serving desk. 50 odd years old, just left there. They've even taken the shelves off the top there. You can see all the metal brackets, but the shelves have all gone. The stairs, I wouldn't risk going up the stairs. I wouldn't risk going down the stairs. All the shelves have gone from there as well. Just a load of brackets on the wall. Horrendous. That was possibly a jeweller's of some sort. They put all the little knickknacks on the front in the window. There's the old street lights from back in the day. Probably don't even make bulbs to go in them anymore. Street sign there as well. But that's the only time I've seen street lights on any of the intersections around here. But yeah, this is all ruined as usual, as you'd expect. There's just something very sad about walking around here. And I don't really want to stay here much longer, to be fair. I don't know the reasons for the invasion. I'm sure there'll be two different stories. But Parker Pens. But having an entire resort, a town of this size, just left to rack and ruin. When people lived here and had lives here, it's just very sad. And yes, I understand it's become part of a symbolic buffer zone between the two nations here. One of them illegally occupied, it has to be added. The Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is not recognised by, as far as I'm aware, any other country. The Savile Row tailors over there. Shops. But to have an entire town empty, which was once obviously thriving, doing really well for itself, it's a little bit sick, a little bit sad. Obviously I know there's a lot of families had to move away from here, both probably Turkish and Greek CYPRUS. But in this world, you left the town completely empty. I think I don't want to see any more of this, to be fair. Time to head back.